Hello my friends, today we're learning about Basra Daf Kuf Ayin Beis. We're going to start a few lines down on Amud Aleph. Omalu Hu Rova, some people are Goris over here. Rabba the Gillian, Barab Shila La'anu Katvi Shtara Aknaitha, Ki Kativtu Shtara Aknaita, Yaditu Yoma de Kanitu Bei Katvu, Veilo Katvu Yoma de Kamaitu Bei, Ke'echa de Lo Mitchaze Keshikra. So Rabba, the son of Shila, told the people who'd write a Shtara Aknaisa. Rashbam explains, I mean the shtar matona without achrayis. When you're writing the document saying that Reuven gave Shimon the present, this land, if you know when that act happened, that was, let's say, a month ago, write the date that happened. And that way, if Reuven, who gave Shimon the land a month ago and 2 weeks ago, he tried giving it to someone else, we know that the second person doesn't get it. But if not, you don't know the day, write the day that you're standing in, the day you're writing it, that shouldn't look like a lie. Says the Gemara, Omalu Rav Lesafri, V'chin Omalu Rav Huna Lesafri, Ki came to Beshilu, Kasvu Beshilu, V'afal Gav Dem Surun Lechumilu Behini, Ki came to Ki Kayamitu Behini, Katvu Behini, V'afal Gav Dem Mesirun Lechumilu Mili Beshili. So Rav told his people who'd write the documents, the soifa, and Rav Huna also told the soifa, when you're writing a document in Chile, write that you were sitting in Chile, even though what you're writing in the document, you were told about it in the next village that's called Hini. And if you're in Hini, write that you're sitting in Hini, even though that they told you about where the thing happened was in Chile. Continue the Gemara Marava. Ayman de Nokit Shtor Bar Mezuzi, Voma Shabyan Yali Bar Drei Bnei Chamshin no Mashvin Lu, my time Avdu Rabbanan, Milta de Nichalele Malve, Venichalele Love, Nichalele Malve, Kede Shachuf Leporo, Venichalele Love, Keched Nifgam Shtari, Vamar Avayman de Nakit Rei Shtari, Bnei Chamshin, Vamar Shabyan Yali. חד בר מאה לא משבין אליה, עבוד רבון מילתא דניחלה למלווה וניחלה ללא וניחלה למלווה כאיכא דלא נפגם שטרי וניחלה ללא כדי שלא יחוף לפורו. Says Job, someone who has a star that says that Reuven owes him 100 pounds, 100 zuz. And he goes to Edim and he says, listen, I have over here a star that says that Reuven owes me 100 zuz. Please, I want to split it up into 2 stars. I want to tear up the star and I want to write 2 stars. He owes me 50. And then when he pays me off 50, I won't have to give him a shoiva or etc. I'll just give him 1 star back and the other star I'll keep. We don't do that without the permission of the loiva. What the reason? Because there's here 2 benefits, both for the loiva and both for the malva. For the malva, it's a benefit to have 1 star because when he comes to pay 50 and he has 1 star of 100, he'll have to write a shoiva. And then the loiva knows if he loses the shoiva, the malva will be able to charge a whole 100 zuz and therefore will be pressurized to pay back. Therefore, it's a beneficial for the malva to have a star of 100 and not 250. Then it's also good for the loiva because when you pay off 50 and then the malva comes to pay the other 50, to charge the other 50, he has to make a shvur. It's called a star pogum, and he has to make a shvur. So the loiva prefers it to be a star of 100, then he'll pay 50, and then the malva will have to make a shvur. Maybe he won't make a shvur and he'll get away. So therefore, if the loiva is not masking, we can't do this for the malva to split up a star into 250s. Continues Rava, on the opposite case, a guy has 2 stories of 50-50, and he goes to Edim and he says, listen, I have these 2 stories, please make it into 1 star of 100. We don't do it. Why? For the opposite reason, because there's a takana here for the malva and there's a takana for the loiva. The takana is for the malva to have 2 50s, that if the loiva pays 50, you'll just give him 1 star, and the other star, when he charges, he won't have to make a shvur on it because it's no star pogum. And it's also good for the loiva that when he pays 50, he gets back 1 star, and then he doesn't have to keep a receipt and make sure that it doesn't get lost. And therefore, if the loiva doesn't agree, you can't change 2 stars of 50 into 1 star of 100. So the Gemara weiter, Amar Avashi, Hai man denakit star aba me'azuzi, ve'amar shavinu ni'ali chad bar chamshin, lo mashvinan le, mai taim amrin nai mifra pari, ve'amar le'av le'shtari, ve'amar le'irkas li, ve'kativ le'tavro mapik le'ahai, ve'amar le'ahai achrinahu, says Ravashi, so on, who is holding a star of 100 zuz, and he says to the Eidim, Bezdin, please, let's tear up the star and write the star they owes me only 50, because he paid me off 50 already, and therefore I want to tear this up. I shouldn't charge 100 and give me a star of 50, so we don't do it. What's the reason? We're choishish, maybe the loiva paid fully, and when he paid off fully, he said, can I have the document that says I owe you 100 back? He said, oh, I lost it. Let me give you a receipt. And he gave a receipt. He paid me 100. And now if we change the star to 50, the mother is going to come to the loiva and say, oh, you owe me 50. The loiva is going to say, look, I have a shoiva of 100. So the mother is going to say, oh, that's a different loan. This is a loan of 50. That's a shoiva of 100. You still owe me 50. So because of that chashash, we don't let the mother change the star of 100 into 1 star of 50. Says a Mishnah, Shnei achim echad oni ve'echad oshir v'iniach lehem avir merchat u'beis habad v'otzon l'schar aschar be'emtza otzon la'atzmo Aryeh oshir oimer lo אני קח לך עבודי ויחצו במרחוד קח לך זיצים בו ועשה בבית הבד שניים שהיו בעיר אחת שם אחד יוסף בן שמעון ושם אחר יוסף בן שמעון אין יכולים להוציא שטר חוב זה על זה ולא אחד יכול להוציא עליהם שטר חוב נמצא לאחד בין שטרותיו שטרו של יוסף בן שמעון פרוע שטרות שלהם פרועים כיצד יעשו ישלישו ואם היו משולשים יכתבו סימן ואם היו מסומנים יכתבו כהן. The Mishnah says 2 brothers, one who's a poor brother, Reuven, and the other one's a rich one, Shimon, and the father left them a bathhouse and the Beis Habad where you make olives, where you press olives into oil, and the father passed away. So, and if this Beis Habad and this Beis HaMerchot was leschar, that means it was rented out as a business. So you continue renting out of the business, and the profits are split between Reuven, the poor brother, and Shimon, the rich brother. If the father used to use it for himself, his own use to press oil and to wash himself and his slaves, etc. And here the problem is that the poor man doesn't really have any slaves to use in the wash house or any olives to press to oil. Says the Mishnah, what it did, the rich man could tell to the poor man, I'm continuing using it like our father. If you want to use it, go ahead. You're welcome to use it. Go buy slaves, bring them into the washing, into the Beis Merchat. Go buy olives and use them in the olive press. Until you don't have, I'm going to use it by myself. That's the first case of the Mishnah, the first chelik of the Mishnah. Second chelik of the Mishnah is talking about a whole total different thing. 2 people in the same city that they were both called the same name, Yosef, the son of Shimon. So they can't take a shtar choiv out one against each other. Because if one Yosef ben Shimon comes to the second Yosef ben Shimon and says, you owe me money, the other one says, what are you talking about? The shtar, you owed me money and I gave it back to you when you paid me off. So therefore each one can claim that, and therefore you can't, with such a shtar, you can't be tover on each other. And no one could take it, get them a shtar choiv. No one, if someone, Levi, comes and says, oh, Yosef ben Shimon, it says you owe me £1,000. He's going to say no to other Yosef ben Shimon. The other Yosef ben Shimon is going to say it to the other one. And the Malda won't be able to get his money. Continue the Mishnah. If someone found he had 2 stores that Yosef ben Shimon owes him money, and he found a receipt saying that he paid back, but it doesn't say which one he paid back, which Yosef ben Shimon paid back, so he can't charge both of them. Can't charge any of them because he doesn't know which one paid back. The Gemara is going to explain the Chorah to be of a steer to what we said before, but we're going to go into the Gemara. What should they do? In this case, if Yosef ben Shimon and they want to take a loan, or someone wants to give them a loan, they should write Yosef ben Shimon and also Ben, the grandfather, and therefore, L'chorah, by the grandfather, the name will be different. It won't be Yosef ben Shimon ben Yaakov, it won't be Yosef ben Shimon ben Yitzchak. They said the Mishnah, what if they had the same father, they both called Yosef ben Shimon ben Yaakov, what should they do then? They should write a simon, one of them, the tall Yosef ben Shimon ben Yaakov, and the small Yosef ben Shimon ben Yaakov. And if they were both same height, they look the same, so you can't tell a difference in the body looks, they should write, if he's a Kohen, if one of them's a Kohen, they should write Kohen, and the other one, Israel. Says the Gemara, דנפק לבית דינא דרב הונא דהווה כתיב אני פלוני בר פלוני לוויתי מנה ממך. says the Gemara Daf Hayomi base or mud base. Amar Rav Huna, ממך אפילו מריש גלות, ואפילו משבר מלכה. אמר לי רב חיסדא לרבא, פה כאין בה, דלא תבא אלא רב הונא מנח, נפק דק ואשכח דתניא, גט שיש עליו עדים ואין בו זמן. אבא שאול אומר, אם כתוב בו גירשתי היום כשר, עלמא היום ההוא, עלמא היום ההוא יומא דנפיק בי משמע, אכנמי ממך, והוא גב דנפיק מתותי ידי משמע. אמר לאביי ודילמה אבא שאול כי רב אליעזר סביר אלי דאמר עדי מסיר הכרתי, אבל הכה לחוש לנפילה. אמר לי לנפילה לא חשינן, ומלא תמרה דלא חשינן לנפילה דתנן. שניים שם באחד, שם אחד יוסף בן שמעון ושם אחר יוסף בן שמעון, אינם יכולים להוציא שטר חוב זה על זה, ולא אחד יכול להוציא עליהם שטר חוב. האם הלכורים יכולים, והמה ילכו שנפילה, אלא לאו שמע מינן לנפילה לא חשינן, והבא לנפילה דחד לא חשינן, נפילה דרבים חשינן. After we read the Gemara, we're going to explain it. The Gemara starts on Kufayin Beis Amud Aleph straight after the Mishnah. There was a star that it said, that came to the best din of Rav Huna, that said, Reuven ben Shimon, Ploni ben Ploni owes, I borrowed a amount of money from you. Who is you? It doesn't say. Someone comes to best din with the star and says, you is me because I'm holding the star. I want him to pay me, Ploni ben Ploni. Says the Gemara on the base, says Rav Huna, since it doesn't say who the Malva is, it could be anyone. It could be the Reish Galusa, whoever the Reish Galusa. It could be Shbor Malka, it could be the king. Who we don't know who it is, therefore it's not Raya, because it could be this guy. Yes, we know who the loiva is, but maybe he took a loan from someone totally else and he lost it, and you found it, and we don't trust the shtar. So Rav Chisda told Rabbah, look into this case, because in the evening Rav Huna is going to ask you what's the din and if you have a Raya. So he went and he looked into it and he found the brisa. Rabbah found the brisa that said in the brisa, a get that has on it Eidim, but it doesn't have a date when the get was given. Abba Shaul says, if it says, I divorced her today, it's kosher. So what do we see from here? Even though we don't know when today is today, or whether yesterday was also today yesterday, right? So when is that? We assume that it means the day that comes, best and see it is today the get happened. So also here, when it says I took a loan from you, we assume that the one who's holding the shtar is in Besdin, he's a you. What's the difference? Says Abaye to Rabbah, what's a raya that you have from there? Maybe Abba Shaul, who says you don't need the time in the get and it's good enough to be written today, is not because it says today, it means when you come to Besdin, that's the day that we assume it happened. No, he holds a Krabelotha, the whole that you don't really need in a get, not Eidim, and not a time, because the Ikka, a get, is the Eidim Isira. We had this early on, the Eidim who see you giving it over. That's the Ikka, and they know when the date happened, so you don't really need the time in the get. That's why Abba Shaul says that without the time, if it says today, it's kosher. Not because you don't need, not because we assume it happened today. It's just because you don't need the time in the get. But by us, when it says Reuven ben Shimon owes you money, I owe you money, Reuven ben Shimon, let's be choishesh fenefila, maybe you is Levi, and now you that coming to Besdin, Levi lost it and you found the star, Yehuda, so we can't trust it. So Rabbah told Rabbi, no, we are not choishesh lenefila. And how do I know that? From a Mishnah, Baba Basra, Daf Kuf, Ayin Beis, Amud Aleph. What does it say in the Mishnah? Two people in the same city, both called Yosef ben Shimon, they can't take out a choiv one against each other, and no one can take out a choiv against them. It's mashma. But them, if they have a choiv, if Yosef ben Shimon is a malva, and it says that someone else, Reuven owes Yosef ben Shimon money, and he comes against Reuven with the star saying it says you owe Yosef ben Shimon, he could be Teveim. How so? We should be choishesh for nefila that maybe Reuven owes the money to the other Yosef ben Shimon, and he lost the star and you found it. Elomai, what do we see from the Mishnah by us? They know choishesh for nefila. And therefore, if someone comes with a document saying that Reuven ben Shimon owes him money, and doesn't say who's him, and he's holding the shtar, it's good enough, because they're not choishish l'nefila. And Aryeh says, no, big difference. For one, people over here in the Mishnah, way the only person that you could find it, that means we need that if we're choishish l'nefila, it means that Yosef ben Shimon, the other Yosef ben Shimon lost it, and punct you, the other Yosef ben Shimon found it. That's very rare. So then we know choishish l'nefila, and if Yosef ben Shimon's a malva and it says that Reuven owes him money, it could be tovea from Reuven. Because we know choishish l'nefila in such a case, because it's very rare. It's a nefila of one person and a specific person found it. But by us, where it's many people, anyone could have lost it, because all it says that Reuven ben Shimon owes the money to you. Who's you? We don't know. It could be the king, it could be anyone. And who found it? Anyone could have found it, because it doesn't say a name. Then in such a case, you're choishish for nefila. And therefore, Rav Huna's right, says Aryeh, that we won't be able to be tovea in such a shtar. So what's that in your hands? Maybe if someone lost it and you found it. Thank you very much.